there's something going on in the relationship when one of them has the door flapping a bit, you know. It's like if the doors are closed, nobody else is going to get in there.
Yeah.
So there's at some stage in a relationship, people or someone, one person or possibly both, but one of them, the doors begin to sort of, they're not locked anymore. That's the first stage. It's not locked. So if somebody's got a sufficiently clever key, they're going to be able to open that door, and then it might sort of begin to open a bit. So it's like the door to the world, to other possibilities, to other partners, and I mean that's a really that's such an enormous subject. What is then happening? What's that all about? And it's very rare that a couple have the emotional awareness to actually be able to talk about what's happening for them, and the sense of safety to be able to share that with their partner, you know. It's like so that they can actually have a look at what's happening in our relationship, that this has now occurred. And then, of course, typically, since most of my couples are heterosexual, I have actually quite a lot of couples who are homosexual, women and men, but most are heterosexual, and then we stumble over the difficulties for the genders to understand one another's. Because if we're talking about affairs, meaning having a sexual liaison with someone else, which isn't really the only kind of affair. I mean, the most recent case that I've been working with, there's no acknowledgement of there having been sex at all. It's just been sort of overstepping boundaries with regard to contact and texting and talking on the phone. Just like overstepping the boundary with the degree of contact with someone else, you know. I don't even know because we haven't established it at least, that whether there's been any kissing or anything. It's just like an involvement has started with someone else. But more commonly, it's like one of them has had sex with someone else, and that could be like a one-off thing, or it could be an ongoing thing, and so it's like under the banner of infidelity, there's like such a enormous range of how that can express that it's really hard to answer any questions about it from a point of view of, well, how do you deal? You know, it's like that's like saying, how do you deal with illness? You know, you're a GP, and somebody comes in with you and they're sick, or they have a cough. What's wrong with them, and how do you fix them? It's like it's too, you know. So it's like it's too broad. It's more likely that the affair has surfaced and that is supposedly over, and it's not clear whether it is or not. That's probably the most common situation, and when I say that it's not clear whether it's over or not, it's not simply a matter of whether that individual is seeing someone else, but whether the engagement on an emotional level is just. First of all, they need to unpack the trauma of the affair coming into the relationship dynamics. They need to have some way, and they typically need help with that, to really understand the other person emotionally, understand, you know, what is happening, and not only for the one that isn't having the affair, but also the other one.